We want children to have a really clear picture of what maths is. This means we move between concrete, so this is the use of objects to help children, pictorial, so that means pictures, and abstract, which could mean number sentences or digits. So before children start learning about addition and subtraction, it's really important they have a good understanding of place value. In year one, children need to be able to count to 100, beginning from 0 or 1 or any given number, forwards and backwards. To begin with, children would start learning to count within 20, and counting to 100 would be an end of year expectation for year one children. So initially, children would start by counting objects, which we would present alongside digits. We'd also use number lines, which is more abstract for the children, and it helps them understand the position of numbers. We'd also use a 100 square, and which you can print for free from the internet. And what I really love about the 100 squares, it's great for spotting patterns. Children do tend to struggle crossing the tens barrier, so it's important children understand that the numbers before these multiples have 9 ones. We want children to understand the value of each digit in a 2-digit number. Often children have lots of misconceptions, especially with teen numbers. So we would say 14 is 1 10 and 4 ones. We also might say this number initially as 10 4, as that helps children understand what makes up the number 14. So to represent this, you could use 10 frames, and obviously you may not have 10 frames at home, so instead you could use egg boxes and cut off the extra 2 to make your own 10 frame. We'd also represent this using Numicon, and we would represent this using Deans, which you can make yourselves at home just simply by cutting up straws. This also could be represented using Lego, and eventually this will lead on to children using place value counters. At the start of the year, we want children to have a deep understanding of numbers to 5 and how these numbers are made up. This then leads on to learning bonds within 10. Numicon is a great way to do this. It costs £11 on Amazon. It fits together really easily. It's also weighted so it will balance on scales. Here you can see how 5 is equal to 3 add 2, or how 2 add 3 is equal to or the same as 5. You could also use pasta shapes, Lego and cubes. Once children are confident in their bonds to 5 and within 5, children could start then working within 10. We could also then start making links to subtraction. So here we can see we've got a tower of 10. If 2 were knocked off, we'd have a tower of 8. So 10 subtract 2 equals 8. Here we have used cubes to represent this as a bar model. You can see the whole is 10, the parts are 7 and 3. If we take 3 away from that whole, we are left with 7. When children are fluent in their bonds within 10, they can apply this to larger bonds, so 2-digit add 1-digit numbers. If I know that 4 add 4 equals 8, which you can see I've represented here using my straws, then I also know that 44 add 4 equals 48, which I've also represented here at the bottom, and children can spot the similarities between both calculations. In year 2, children need to add 2 2-digit numbers together. We don't teach column methods until children have fully secured their understanding of place value. Teaching this too early can lead to a very shallow procedural understanding of maths. So here I've represented 24 add 27 using the Deans. And I'm going to show you how you'd add this together by regrouping. So here we've got the 24, here's the 27. What I can see here is that I've got another group of 10 made up of the ones here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 3 of my ones from the 24 here and then I've got another group of 10. And I can physically show that to the children by moving that away and putting down another 10. So we can clearly see the answer is 51. Once children have got used to doing this practically, then we show them how to represent this using drawings. So we get them to draw it out clearly, 24, then 27. Then we encourage them to circle the 10, and this makes it very easy to count at the end, 10, 20, 30, 40, 51. When we add and we make another group of 10, we call it regrouping. When we're subtracting and we have to break a 10, we call it exchanging. Here I've got the calculation 51 subtract 13. I've represented this using my straws as deans. I can see quite clearly that I can't easily take away 13, not without breaking a 10, and I can't physically do it, so I'm going to have to exchange this 10 stick for 10 ones. So I'm going to move them over here. First, I'm going to take away the 3 ones. Next, I'm going to take away the 10. I then count up my 10s and 1s, and I can see that I'm left with 38. I've also represented this pictorially, which is what children will move onto when they're confident using the deans. So I've represented the 51. I can see that I need to exchange a 10. So I've done an arrow and I've drawn 51 again. This time my 10 has been broken up into 10 ones, and now I can subtract my 13.